Taurus, the loss has already begun. As you watch this video, something you consider fundamental in your life is being silently removed from your reality. You haven't fully realized it yet, but in the last few days you've been feeling a strange emptiness, a feeling that something is no longer where it should be. It's not paranoia. It's not your imagination. It's the universe executing a plan much greater than you can see right now. Your mission in this life has always involved an inevitable loss. Not a random or cruel loss, but a specific, calculated loss, necessary for you to fulfill the true purpose for which you came into this world. And the time has come. Not in the distant future, not when you feel ready. Now, the loss that will completely redefine who you are and what you can become is in motion, and there is no force on earth capable of stopping it. I know this sounds scary to you, who have always sought security and stability above all else. But I need you to understand, this loss isn't here to destroy you. It's here to free you from a prison you've built over the years. A prison made of attachments, fears, a need for control, and resistance to change. You've been living a limited version of yourself, and the time has come to die to that version, so that your true essence can finally emerge. What you're about to lose isn't really yours. It never was. You've simply become so accustomed to having it in your life that you've confused possession with identity. But your true identity doesn't depend on anything external. It exists independently of anything you might gain or lose, and that's exactly what you'll discover when the loss is complete. Are you prepared to discover who you truly are when everything you thought defined you is removed from your life? This isn't a conversation about astrological possibilities or trends. It's a revelation about something that has already been decided at levels far beyond your conscious understanding. Your soul, even before you were born, agreed to this process. It chose to experience this loss because it knew it was the only way for you to access your true power. What you consider a tragedy, your soul sees as liberation. For years, you've built your life around things that gave you a sense of security. Maybe it's a relationship, a professional position, a financial situation, a physical environment, a social identity. Something you consider so fundamental that you can't imagine your life without it. Well, that's exactly what needs to be removed. Because as long as you rely on these external crutches, you'll never discover the extraordinary strength that lies within you. The loss that is coming is not random, it's surgical, it's precise. It's targeted precisely at what keeps you trapped in a small version of yourself. The universe has identified your greatest attachment, your greatest source of false security, and will remove it cleanly and definitively. It may seem cruel, but it's the most profound act of love you could ever receive. For Taurus is born between April 20th and April 30th, this loss will be related to a source of material or emotional stability that has long been their anchor. For those born between May 1st and 10th, the loss will involve something connected to their self-image or how they present themselves to the world. And for those born between May 11th and 20th, what will be removed has to do with a structure or system that they considered permanent in their lives. But regardless of the specific form the loss takes, the outcome will be the same for everyone. You will discover that you are much stronger, much more capable, much more resilient than you ever imagined. You will realize that your true security comes from within, not from without. You will understand that your identity does not depend on anything that can be lost or taken from you. What impresses me most about your mission is that it's not just about your personal transformation. When you go through this loss and emerge on the other side as a more authentic and powerful version of yourself, you will become a living example to others that it is possible to survive the seemingly impossible. Your journey will inspire those going through their own losses, showing that the end of one phase can be the beginning of something much greater. Can you feel the weight of the responsibility you carry, not only to yourself, but to all those who will be inspired by your courage? Taurus, throughout your life, You've probably heard that your greatest quality is determination, persistence, and the ability to keep things going even when everything around you is in chaos. But what you didn't know is that these qualities were developed specifically to prepare you for this moment. You didn't become resilient by accident. You became resilient because your soul knew that one day you would have to endure a test that would test all your limits. The loss that's coming won't be gradual or gentle. It will be abrupt and total, like ripping off a band-aid, painful in the moment, but necessary for true healing to occur. You'll feel as if the ground has been pulled out from under you, as if everything you considered right and secure in your life suddenly no longer exists, and for a few moments, you'll feel completely lost. But here's what you need to understand. This feeling of being lost is temporary. It's the space between who you were and who you're becoming. It's the necessary void that needs to be created so something new can be born. And when you emerge from this void, you will be a completely new person, not just stronger but wiser, not just more resilient but more compassionate, not just more independent but more connected to your true essence. The mission you came to fulfill in this life couldn't have been accomplished by the version of you that existed before the loss. That version was too attached, too controlling, too dependent on external factors to maintain your emotional stability. But the version that emerges after the loss will have a completely different quality. You'll be someone who finds peace amidst chaos, who creates security through adaptability, who builds stability from flexibility. You'll discover talents and abilities you never imagined you possessed, capabilities that lay dormant because you never needed to use them, inner strengths that remained hidden because you always had other resources to rely on. Losing them will be like taking the training wheels off a bicycle, scary at first, but necessary for you to learn to balance on your own. And here's something that might surprise you. After the loss is complete and you've adjusted to your new reality, you'll look back and feel gratitude. You'll realize that what you considered so important was actually limiting you. It was keeping you stuck in a comfort zone that, while comfortable, didn't allow you to grow and expand. You'll understand that the loss was the greatest gift the universe could give you. Your mission has always been about learning to create from nothing, about discovering that you have the power to build entire realities using only your inner strength, about showing the world that it's possible to lose everything and still find a way to thrive. But to fulfill this mission, you first needed to experience loss in its full intensity. You needed to hit rock bottom to discover that even then, you can breathe. Over the coming days and weeks, you'll begin to notice signs that loss is approaching. Small instabilities in areas you once considered solid. Subtle shifts that indicate something bigger is moving behind the scenes in your life. Don't try to avoid or prevent these signs. They are necessary preparations, ways for the universe to gradually acclimate you to what's coming. Also, observe how you react internally to these small losses and changes. Your emotional response will give you clues about where your greatest attachments and fears lie. And the more you can consciously let go of these attachments, the smoother the transition will be when the major loss occurs. Think of it as training. The more you practice letting go of the small things, the more prepared you'll be to let go of what truly matters. Are you willing to use this preparation period to develop the emotional flexibility you'll need? Taurus. One of the most powerful things that will happen during your journey of loss is that you will completely redefine your relationship with the concept of security. Until now, you probably associated security with external stability, having the same things, people, and situations around you. But you will discover that true security comes from your ability to adapt, to reinvent yourself, to find your center, even when everything around you is changing. This new form of security is infinitely more powerful than the previous one because it doesn't depend on external factors you can't control. It comes from your confidence in your own ability to handle any situation life throws at you. And once you develop this confidence, you'll become practically invincible. Not because nothing bad can happen to you, but because you know you can handle anything that happens. The coming loss will also reveal who the people who truly matter in your life are. Some people you once considered close may drift away when you're no longer able to offer them what you once did. But others will draw closer, drawn by your newfound authenticity and inner strength. You'll discover that relationships based on mutual exchange are far rarer than relationships based on convenience or self-interest. And perhaps most importantly, you'll develop a completely new relationship with yourself. You'll stop judging yourself by what you have or what you can maintain, and start valuing yourself for what you're capable of creating, overcoming, and transforming. You'll discover that you're much more interesting, much more complex, much more capable than the limited version you knew before your loss. The process of loss will happen in phases. First, you'll deny that you're truly losing something important. You'll try to find ways to recover or maintain what's being taken away. Then you'll feel anger at the universe, at the circumstances, perhaps even at yourself. Next, you'll try to negotiate, looking for ways to minimize the loss or compensate for it with other means. But eventually, you'll reach a point of acceptance. And when you get there, you'll discover that acceptance isn't defeat, it's liberation. It's the moment you stop fighting the current and allow it to carry you where you need to go. It's when you discover that letting go of control can be the most powerful act you can perform. Throughout this process, remember that you are not alone. Other Tauruses around the world are going through similar journeys of loss and transformation, each with their own unique characteristics, but all sharing the same fundamental mission: learning to create strength from vulnerability, stability from change, and security from adaptability. Your journey will inspire others, but it will also connect you with people who understand what you're going through. You'll create a support network based not on convenience, but on deep mutual understanding. These connections will be far more meaningful than many relationships you had before the loss. The inevitable loss that's part of your mission will also awaken aspects of your personality that were dormant. You might discover you have a natural ability to lead people in times of crisis, or that you possess a keen intuition that only manifests when you can no longer rely solely on logic. Or that you have a creative talent that only emerges when you no longer have the usual distractions of a comfortable life. These new aspects of your personality are no accident. They've always been there, waiting for the right conditions to manifest. Loss creates these conditions, stripping away the superficial layers of your identity and revealing the deeper, more authentic core of who you are. Taurus, as you prepare for this journey of loss and transformation, I want you to understand that the universe isn't testing you out of cruelty. It's offering you an opportunity for growth that few have the courage to embrace. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding loss, accumulating things and experiences to feel secure. But you were chosen for a different path, one that involves discovering that your true strength comes not from what you possess, but from what you are capable of overcoming. In the coming days, as the signs of loss intensify, remember that every loss is also a liberation. Everything you lose is one less weight you carry. Every attachment you break is a chain you cut. And every time you survive something you thought would destroy you, you prove to yourself that you are far more powerful than you imagine. The mission you came to fulfill in this life couldn't be accomplished by someone who had never experienced real loss. It needed to be accomplished by someone who knows both the value of things and the freedom that comes from not needing them. Someone who understands both the beauty of stability and the strength that comes from adaptability. Someone who can speak about security with authority because they have experienced total insecurity and discovered they can survive it. When the loss is complete and you emerge on the other side, you will possess a wisdom that cannot be taught in books or courses. You will possess a depth that only comes from direct experience. You will possess a compassion that is only possible for those who know real pain. And you will possess a strength that cannot be broken, because it has been tested under the most extreme conditions. You will become someone others look to when they're going through their own losses. Not because you have easy answers, but because you have the credibility of someone who's been there and survived. Your presence will be a living reminder that it's possible to lose everything and still find reasons to keep going. Even more importantly, to thrive. The inevitable loss that is part of your mission will teach you the difference between need and desire, between essential and superfluous, between being and having. It will show you that you can live with much less than you imagine and still be much happier than when you had more. It will reveal that simplicity can be richer than complexity, that emptiness can be more nourishing than abundance. During the most difficult moments of your journey, when you feel tempted to give up or rebel against the process, remember that this experience is transforming you into someone capable of helping others undergo their own transformations. Every tear you shed is preparing you to dry the tears of others. Every night you feel lost is giving you the wisdom you need to guide others who have lost their way. Your mission isn't just about your own evolution. It's about becoming a beacon for others, navigating the turbulent waters of change and uncertainty. You'll discover a natural ability to help people find strength in moments of weakness, hope in moments of despair, clarity in moments of confusion. Taurus, the inevitable loss that's approaching, isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new, much more interesting, much deeper, much more meaningful chapter. It's the moment when you stop being a character in other people's stories and become the protagonist of your own journey. It's when you discover that your real life was waiting on the other side of your fears. In the coming days, as you feel the weight of loss looming, take a deep breath and remember that you were made for this. Not just to survive it, but to transform it into fuel for a version of your life you can't even imagine right now. Are you ready to discover that inevitable loss isn't the end of who you are, but the beginning of who you were always meant to become? If this message reached you, it's because you're already in the process of preparing for your transformative loss. Share in the comments if you felt signs that something important in your life is changing, or if you have a hunch that a major transformation is approaching. Your experiences can help other Tauruses recognize the signs in their own lives. Subscribe to the channel now, because your journey of loss and rebirth will require support and guidance. I'll continue sharing insights on how to navigate this transformation, how to find strength in the most difficult moments, and how to recognize the opportunities that emerge from the most painful losses. Your mission involves inevitable loss, but that loss isn't your final destination. It's merely the portal you must cross to reach the most authentic, strongest, wisest version of yourself. On the other side of that loss lies a life you can't even imagine right now. A life only possible for someone who had the courage to lose everything and discover they still had everything that truly mattered inside.